Hell yeah, man. So if I mention anything during what I'm about to go through that
Yep.
reminds you of something that you forgot,
Oh
just go
yeah, I'll
ahead and
shout it out.
you got the green light to interrupt me. But
10-4.
I'm gonna go through this a little bit quicker than I might have otherwise because we're like 2.5 hours in already,
Yep. Sounds about right.
approaching that. But yeah, man. So I didn't put these lists in any particular order because it's too hard to order musicians for me. I love music in general. So I did put an asterisk beside some that are extra special to me. But for the most part, I'm just going to run right down the list. I did
Mm-hmm.
separate hip hop from blended genre, which I do have
Mm-hmm.
some in the blended genre that are definitely hip hop influenced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyways, I'm gonna just go for it. First one, I'm gonna say this one first. Lupe Fiasco. Not a big fan of Lupe right now. James's face explains
Me
about
either.
how I feel about Lupe right now, but
Yep.
big impact on my life.
Yeah.
Lasers is an album that
Still made
have left
phenomenal
an
music.
imprint in me.
Yep.
And I liked several other albums, Food and Liquor 2 being the
Oh
one
yeah.
I would say was my second favorite out of his discography. But
Yep.
anyhow, Ti, Drake, Lil Wayne. I don't listen to those guys nearly as much anymore, but I felt I had to mention all of them because you get into hip hop. For me, my story is I got into hip hop because my older cousin listened to it, and obviously, the popular ones were the ones that were most easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a couple others, Eminem, being one,
Yep.
but I name these first because the 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 further I get into it, it's not in any particular order, but the later I mention it, the more impactful they've been in general. Not necessarily in exact order, but
Mm-hmm.
um, man, a guy that is going to be, he's been on the podcast, but my audio wasn't right. I was still a novice podcaster, so we're going to get him on again very soon. But real. I used to think it was real by real because the way he notates it is RIELXRIEL, and that X I
Uh-huh.
thought it was like lumber, like 4x4.
Yeah.
I thought it stood for by, and I
Real
thought
by
it was
real.
like real by real, like a movie, like real by real.
Yeah.
But he said no, it's
Which
just stands.
actually sounds pretty
That
dope.
sounds dope. When he heard my thought of that, he was like,
Yeah,
that
he
is.
probably was
He was
like,
like, that
oh,
is
I
kind of
can see
dope.
that.
But he said, nah, it's just real. His name is Gabriel, so
I got you.
it's the last four letters of his name. But yeah, man, he's got some music that I really like. One song in particular was my number one song on Spotify, and I listen to it all the time. It's called Salvador Dali. I'll link that in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Cess Crew. They're not rapping together anymore, but they're a hip hop duo from Kansas City. Maybe they'll get back together. There's a whole story behind that. I won't go into it. Lil Dicky. I fuck with Lil Dicky. As an artist in general, I like the show Dave. Did you watch Dave on Hulu
I've
or
seen an
Netflix or
episode. I've
whatever?
seen an episode. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah. I
good.
know it comes on
It's
FX.
pretty good. I
Yeah.
like. You talk about a huge Kanye fan.
Oh, I know.
Lil
Yeah.
Dicky is a huge Kanye fan.
Yeah. No, I remember him showing Ye love in one of his interviews. I saw him with
Yeah,
somebody one time, Nard Ward or someone.
that's like his number one idol is
Yeah.
Kanye, without a
Yeah.
doubt. He talks about it in the show a lot. But speaking of Kanye, Big Sean is on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Big Sean, love you, Big
Mm-hmm.
Sean.
Yeah, man.
NF,
I know you like NF.
NF, Flatbush Zombies.
Uh-huh.
I love me some
That last
Flatbush.
album too is crazy, man. That last album is crazy. I've been
I
listening to
particularly like them because they're like, they're catalyzing the psychedelic movement in hip hop, revitalizing a psychedelic
yeah.
wave in the hip hop community, which I think is awesome. So
Yeah.
shout out Flatbush Zombies. Russ, got to give my flowers to Russ.
Independent.
And
Yeah.
King ISO. He's with Strange now, but man, I do have a little story to tell with him. I met him at the Norva May 28th, 2018. And I actually talked to him for a little bit, man. And he actually, that conversation kind of shift. I don't want to say it was like one of the most significant worldview shifts I've ever had, but I asked him a question, something along the lines of like, what is the foundation of all this bullshit? All these lies, like what should our focus, like the number one focus be? And he was like, I don't want to quote him exactly, but it was like big pharma.
Paraphrasing.
Big pharma, basically. It was like the big pharma industry, the medicine industry, man. And that, I think I've told you this before, because as somebody that came into the whole conspiracy, which I don't, that word is whatever.
I'm starting to hate it too.
I know, but
that's why I try to say, you notice I try to say truth or more.
Truth,
but
or
I try
the
to
resistance
yeah.
community. I've heard that.
Yeah.
But whatever. It
Whatever.
is what it is.
It is what it is.
But it was like, man, that's, I've always been trying to get people, like, you know, onto the tip of knowing about central banking and how that's a pyramid scheme, essentially a racket. And I think he had a point that it just clicked with me. It's like, they don't care. Yeah. Everybody out here on drugs. You know what I mean?
Like, but it's just
illegal or legal. They're on drugs.
That's the thing.
Nobody's got the time to even think
suburban
about economic system.
Yeah, they're on their pharmaceutical drugs and drinking wine with it. It's all over, man. No matter what it is, psychedelic weed or your pharmaceuticals. It's everyone's industry, high.
Big pharma. Yeah. So shout out King ISO. 3 days after that, 3 days later, on June 1st, 2018, he put out an album that I'm gonna do a top 10 album after I get through the artists too. I'm gonna run through it real quick. But he put out an album that is called Dementia, and that was independent. He signed with Strange Music after that album, but he did that album by himself, produced, mixed, written, all of it. And epic album.
Yeah.
So
shout out to artists who are learning that God, to have the skill set to be able to mix, master, engineer, produce, write, compose, all of that, your own project, man. Shout out to all of those guys. And you're seeing a lot more of them in the game now, because the industry don't even want to deal with you if you can't do it all now.
Right.
You know.
Some more mainstream ones that I have to say, just because for better or worse, they had a significant impact on my life. J. Cole, Kanye, Jay-Z, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, sir.
And then the top,
and of course, shout out Cole. I didn't mention Cole, but
shout out of course, Cole, right? Sure. And then creme de la creme for me. And like I said, there's some that I have under my blended list that could be considered hip hop. So be patient. But creme de la creme, as far as what I would consider strictly hip hop, or mostly hip hop, and in Mac Miller's case, Mac Miller's up here in the creme de la creme section.
RIP.
Nas, of course, Locksmith, West Coast rapper, a lot. Look, he's still too small. He's still too small. Anytime you get the chance to shout him out, anytime I get the chance to shout him out, I'm shouting him out. Shout out Locksmith. Give a fucking shit, dude. Immortal Technique. Nothing else to say about that. Just Immortal Technique. Tech Nine. I mean,
that's
strange music.
That's your dude, yeah.
Independent, number one independent in the world. Tech Nine.
Absolutely. Which
did the halftime show Sunday night, Kansas City.
At Kansas City.
That's big. That's big time for
that's big. That's
like
big.
That.
But of course, they didn't show that halftime show or anything.
Oh no, it was on YouTube. You had to watch that one on YouTube.
Watch it on YouTube. Yeah, I got you. But that's what's up, that he got to do it though in his own city.
Amazing. And still the crowd, regardless of whether it was broadcast. Game. Yeah, that's a lot of fans, a lot of people. That's awesome. That's what's up. Awesome.
But I do hear that the city be showing him love though.
Oh, he's the king of Kansas City. Bro.
Yeah, he's got respect. And I don't just mean with fans. I mean, he's got respect with.
He goes on the news channel.
Yeah,
the local news channel has his story, his broadcast, his story. I mean, he's the real deal, bro. Shout out Tech Nine, love. That's it. And then, of course, B.O.B. and Absol. Of course, those two are going to be at the top of this list.
Yeah.
For me, as far as like blended genre, I'm going to go ahead and do the ones that are like hip hop influenced, since I just read off the hip hop list. Dirty Heads, if y'all have ever heard of Dirty Heads, they're like a West Coast reggae fusion hip hop Man, they're all over the place. They're like a no genre type of band. Love Dirty Heads. Check them out. Jerry Robinson, he's a new artist with Strange Music with Tech Nine and them. He's got a pop sound a little bit, but it's fresh. I love it. Kid Cudi. What can I say other than Man on the Moon is a classic album. Regardless of what has happened since then. I mean, yeah, I liked Pain, Passion, and Demon Slaying.
Yeah. Well, I like this. I like, me, I got an ear for different sounds too. I like this new album, but I like this new album. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not gonna say nothing else.
It wasn't me, but it wasn't, I didn't hate it, but
yeah.
Damian Marley I had to put on this list because Nas and Damian Marley, distant relatives. Amazing. Jelly Roll, hip hop influence, country sound, 80s voice, just great. I mean, love Jelly Roll. And then, of course, if anybody really knows me, I'm gonna have to shout out Mayday, Recognize, Burns. Those guys are just, they can play, they transcend genreless. They literally just tear it up regardless of what they're playing. So shout out Mayday, shout out Rec, shout out Burns. Stuck on an Island. We'll get to that in a minute. And then other artists outside of hip hop or even hip hop influenced. If you've ever heard of Black Mill, he's a United Kingdom British dubstep, but I'm not usually into dubstep. It's like a very chill. It's like a trill. It's like a trill step. It's so dope the way what he does is I fuck with that. So Black Mill, one word. Grizz, he's like a saxophone, electronic funk, jam kind. I mean, he's funky. He's dope. Love him. He's actually out of Detroit as well. A lot of Detroit on this list.
Detail, man. It's a lot of detail in the game for sure.
Mimosa,
a lot of people don't realize it's a lot of Virginia and DMV people in the game too, though.
That's true. That's true. Shout out Missy Elliott and Pharrell.
Oh my God,
and Pusha T.
Yep, Pusha. Yep.
Mimosa, he's that's more strictly dubstep, but again, I fuck with his style. The Glitch Mob is you could call them dubstep, but they're more electronic fusion. They're just good. They're all over the place, but they're definitely dubby, but I wouldn't say like dubstep necessarily.
Right.
Papadosio, they're definitely more classic jam band type, acid jam.
I
mean, even their name, Papadosio. Ronald Jenkins, he might be autistic. I don't even know. Like he's a little out there. He's sounds funny when he talks, but you put him on a synthetic electronic keyboard, double stack keyboard, and he puts out some of the
most. That's the shit I'm talking about.
Oh, Ronald Jenkins, he's on the creme de la creme of this list.
That just reminds me, G. Mike Dean. Shout out to Mike Dean, who is the godfather of all things mastering and mixing and synthesized. And I mean, I give Kanye so many flowers. Kanye, most of Kanye's finished products and his team's finished products don't happen without Mike Dean finishing them. So shout out to Mike Dean and everything he's contributed to the game and the sound, and Travis Scott and all of these other. I mean, even back in, people don't remember, but Dean's been around forever, dude, since UGK and Pimp C and them boys and Ghetto Boys and all of them. Like he was producing for those dudes too. So anyway, shout out to Mike Dean.
Hell yeah. Do that whenever you think of something for real. That's
and Hit Boy. Hit Boy.
Right.
What kind of run is that non-human on this freaking year? This the past forever.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And some of the stuff, listening to his playlist on New Year's, I didn't even realize he did some of the songs he did. And this is me, and I know who makes a song, and I know who, usually. But man, I was like, damn, I didn't realize how many songs as he made for Beyonce and many songs as he made for good music in general. And then for him to be doing what he's doing with Nas and Sean and them right now, shout out to Hit Boy, man. He's so versatile. He's working with R&B cats too. Just shout out to Hit Boy. He gets his flowers too. This crazy run he's on right now, historic run he's on. All right, I'm done.
No, I wanted to let you continue because I wanted to come back to all of that came to your mind because I said Ronald Jenkins. You got to check him out. Ronald.
Yeah, Jenkins. You said double keyboard, and I started thinking of producers. Like, fuck, I didn't name any producers. And producers, I mean, this is the time to be alive for a producer, boy, because they're getting recognition like never before. Producers are.
Yep. And then Beats Antique to wrap up the kind of electronic fusion sounds. Beats Antique is dope. And then more pop type of stuff that I gotta throw it out there because it influenced me one way or another. Jack Johnson, he's like a very light rock, very chill, easy listening. And then Dave Matthews Band, my parents listened to them growing up, but like you were saying, I'm not mentioning them because my parents listened to them. They actually had an influence on me. They're Virginia. Dave Matthews is from Virginia.
Yeah.
And just good music, not my typical music that I listen to, but every now and then I jam out and
everybody has different moods, man.
Right.
Everybody has different moods and different genres and sounds spark different emotions and is fitting for those moods. So I know.
And then it's not even country-ish, pop country. I got to shout out Zach Brown Band. Anybody that growing up in my culture, white boy from the rural place,
from rural,
any country artist talking about smoking weed and still showing respect for the veterans and still being in that lane, but doing it in a way that's much realer than a lot of fakeness I experienced growing up where I grew up. Shout out Zach Brown.
Yep.
I fuck with you. And then creme de la creme on this part of the list. Tycho is just a very, I don't even know how to explain either one of these two that I'm about to say, Tycho or Emancipator. Even though he's not hip hop, I gotta put him above Ab-Soul, B.O.B., all of them, bro. I mean, the music he played, it's instrumental. There's only a few songs where there's even a vocalist on there, and it's usually like a female doing some angelic, mystical type.
Yeah, sound. I see what you're saying, harmonizing or whatever.
And where her voice is just another instrument, basically.
Oh, I got you.
But man, he started out as a hip hop producer, and he's actually from the Northern Neck, went to William and Mary, and moved out to Portland, right after he graduated William and Mary, and he's been out there pretty much since. But yeah, dude, his music is just, there's no words. So, as somebody that loves hip hop and loves the word and loves lyricism, for me to put him at the top of the list just lets you know the intricate sounds, the layeredness, he just does it all, man. And it's such a chill sound, and it's just, Emancipator is number one to me. Taiko is very good, is good enough for me to give my flowers to him. And he's in that same realm of Emancipator where it's just like a chill soundscape almost type of genre, so to speak. And then to wrap up my musicians, reggae or dub inspired, I had a few of these. First and foremost, Middlesex band, Stuck on a Name. Got to give my flowers to these guys. They're making they're ironically making a name for themselves as Stuck on a Name. But they're good, especially for a local band. They're really fucking good.
They're called Middlesex Band?
No, Stuck on a Name. Drew Luffy's band.
Oh,
and, Josh Wright and Joe Gaskins.
Right,
all them cats.
Right.
They're killing it. They played at Oyster Festival.
They had the little pop-up down at they live in Waterview.
Some of them do, yeah.
I think. Anyway, they had an event locally. Recently.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Shout out. They're for being from Middlesex, they're legit. They're legit on the national scene. They're making a name. They're making it's ironic.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and they think they even got like some Virginia Reggae Dub Awards a few years back, which like Soja, who's on my list right here. I'm about to name they like won awards there. Soja's big time now. It's
for sure.
And they're getting awards at the same award show. Like that's you're starting to do something.
Damn, Soja's been around for a minute too. At this point, he's been doing this thing for a while.
No kidding. Shout out Soja. Their first album was like 2001. They were
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Of course, shout out the legend Bob Marley. Of course.
Yeah. Bob's.
Shout out.
Since you're saying Bob, Bob for some reason, I mean they're not really the same, but it makes me think of Lenny Kravitz for some reason. Shout out to Lenny. You know,
Okay.
I love Lenny for my other type of music. And shout out to St. John because Lenny found Saint, and Saint is a problem. Bottom line, St. John is shout out to Saint. He gets his flowers too. Check out St. John if you ain't.
No, I saw you did. Kanye did a feature. They did a collab. I saw that.
An amazing song.
Yeah.
Amazing song together. Matter of fact, if you want to figure out who both of them are, listen to their song together. Did they do the Monica Lewinsky song? I think it was Monica Lewinsky. Anyway, we'll find it and put it in the link.
And last few 10-foot ganja plant. They're like a dub, mostly dub. There's a few songs with vocals, but I'm pretty sure they're out of upper New York, upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
But they're killer. And then Slightly Stupid. I think everybody's probably heard of them. West Coast, kind of in the Sublime sound inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And then Revolution, last one I'll name is Revolution. Revolution, the reason I put them at the top of the list, not necessarily ones that I listen to the most in the reggae field, but when I first started smoking, I listened to a lot of Revolution. They were somebody that when, you know, I was kind of going through the transition of opening my mind and becoming a lot more aware, 2007, 2008, 2009, I was listening to a lot of Revolution. So although I don't listen to them as much these days, I still do every now and then get in a Revolution mood, and shout out to those boys. They're dope. And then I'm gonna run through the rest of this as quick as possible because this has been a long episode, but it's been dope though. But it's been so dope. So
that's fine. Well, a good thing about it is you're gonna clip it up and be good. But we can, let's tie it up.
Albums. So I named all the artists. That's about 50 artists. I tried to limit it to 50. But top 10 albums. This is again in not necessarily particular order, but a loose order. All 6s and 7s, Tech 9. That was the album that got me into Tech 9, 2011. Amazing. I mean, all of these albums that I'm about to name, I can't say enough about. If I put an album on this list, this is creme de la creme. All of these. Control System, Absol.
Man, that's up there, boy. Man, that's up there for me too, boy.
Damn. From Kendrick Lamar. I like Absol more than Kendrick, but I put Damn ahead of Control System because that was, I mean, all I could say after listening to that album was damn.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, listen, just like that, all caps.
Listen, he's still Kendrick for a reason. You know, he's still first on the pecking order of the group.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people out there that are good Kid, Mad City people, and then you got your to Pimp a Butterfly people. And I was before Damn, I was all like Section 80. Section 80. I was like, there's no way he'll ever top Section 80. And then he put out Damn.
I still think Section 80 is his best work ever.
Well, that's I'll at least give you that's debatable.
Of course, everything's debatable in music. Is subjective.
True,
but
in my opinion, the only one that is in the league of Damn is Section 80. But Damn was for me like because I really thought I was like, he'll never top Section 80.
Don't get in my Damn mind, was a hell of an album.
In my mind, I was like, he's never gonna top Section 80. That's a masterpiece of an album, and then he did, and I was just like, damn. And that's the name of the fucking album is just.
I think he has a chance to top that, bro.
He's amazing.
He's that good, and the fact that he went away for this long tells me it's just going to be so. It's just going to be. Words won't begin to. TDE in general, all of them, man, they're about to come back. And I know Isaiah just dropped his year, and Isaiah was gone for a long time and came back with a masterpiece.
Have you listened to that? A Room Full of Mirrors?
Of course. Oh, wait.
A Room Full of Mirrors. That's Punch's.
Punch's album.
Daylight
I thought you were
Isaiah. No. It's not Punch's album. It's like it's a whole collective called A Room Full of Mirrors. It's Punch, and they got I know Daylight's in it, and I think Isaiah Rashad might be in it too. But no, you gotta check them out, bro.
Oh, okay.
A Room Full of Mirrors. Yeah, you gotta check that one out, dog. It's a collective, Punch? A West Coast collective.
Okay.
Yes, bro. If you're a TDE fan and you haven't heard of A Room Full of Mirrors yet, get on that. Get on that one.
I see what Punch
ASAP.
keep putting out there, but Punch is one. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, all right. What were you about to say about Punch though? Punch is the man. I hope you weren't about to say nothing bad.
I wasn't about to say nothing crazy, but Punch is not really the artist. Punch is like other thing to TDE. So when I look at them,
all right, but okay. Now that you say that though, listen to the song.
No. I understand.
Listen to the song, "The Man Behind the Curtains." Have you heard that one?
No, but I can already tell you by the name of it. I know
the
he's
man behind the curtains.
Him and Top Dog.
Punch.
Listen, it makes sense.
Listen to it.
Completely
Punch.
Sense.
I've gotten look, and every time Punch hops on an Ab song, it's one of Ab's realest fucking songs.
Really, that's true though. That's true.
Punch is look. Don't and I defend him the way I defend Ab. I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
I got to check more of the music of Punch out.
Yeah. A Room Full of Mirrors. I gotta check. Okay, so yeah, so the album is called A Room Full of Mirrors. That's what I was trying to find out for you. That it's the artist is a collective called A Room Full of Mirrors, and they have it's an album. It's called Money Bags. Check it out. The first song is Money Bags, 8 tracks. Just
it's on Apple Music.
Just fucking ridiculous. I have to imagine it's on all platforms. I got it on Tidal, so yeah, check that one out, bro. But yeah, my top albums of all time to continue. Dementia, I already mentioned earlier by King ISO.
Yeah, I see it.
Absolutely amazing. Dementia. Man on the Moon, I mentioned that one earlier. Kid Cudi, absolutely amazing. I put No Genre on here instead of Elements because I knew we were going to mention Elements anyway. And Elements I felt like was kind of cheating because it's like 4 projects in one. So I put No Genre because I think for me, No Genre was the one where it was like, damn, B.O.B. like.
No, that was the one for you before.
And it was also the one where he kind of diverted from being obviously pop. Like he had put out mixtapes where it was clear he was kind of in the conscious dabbling in that.
And I remembered even then we were like, oh, this is nice. Yeah. But this is probably as far as it can go. And even then, I was fine with that.
He broke out of the shell
completely. How big of an artist he was. Right. But with No Genre, artist he was at the time. I just was like, hey, this is
No Genre, he broke out the shell completely.
Yeah.
And the first track on there, Beast Mode.
Exactly.
And then the whole thing is No Genre, top album or project, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
The only one on here that's not hip hop, and I just had to put it on here because, I mean, as everybody probably knows by now, if they've listened to enough episodes, and as you know, I've done some LSD in my day, and I took an LSD trip one time and put on a classic LSD album, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, and had an experience that is just beyond words. And so I actually have the flag, the Dark Side of the Moon flag, hanging above my bed in my room. So Dark Side of the Moon.
I can see how that's on you.
As far as not even being hip hop influence, it's my favorite album of all time. The next 3 that I'm gonna name, all of them are kind of blended, not strictly hip hop. Swimming by Mac Miller. I wish I had gotten into Mac earlier, man. I should.
Now I was listening to Mac, but I wasn't into.
I got into him right before he died, man. The timing was like heartbreaking because it was like I had just gotten into him. I keep a journal.
I remember our conversation that you had with me about Mac. You were like, bro, go back and listen.
Yeah, I keep a journal, and I mean, I don't know the exact date that I really got into him, but I remember looking back through my journal after he died, and August 31st, 2018, the only entry I made that day, swimming is amazing, all caps underlined. And a week later, 7 days later, he passed away, and I was just like,
it's nuts, bro.
Aside from Kobe Bryant, that's the only 2 celebrities I've ever cried over. Only 2 people I never met.
Yeah,
that fucked me up. If they
Mac hit me. Mac definitely hit me. I was listening to Mac since Blue Slide Park and when I was in Radford. So I mean, I was bumping Mac, and I remember I was always like, yo, people worried about the wrong thing. I always say this: people be worried about the wrong things. Just listen to the man rap. The dude can rap. And But it I guess like with anything, man, it's something different when he died and then you start to go back, especially with where we're at in our conscious phase, you start to go back and see like, oh, this is around when he started to ascend consciously and started to reflect it in his music. I remember when he was doing that whole Larry Fisherman thing and all of that stuff, and I was like, what is he trying to? I couldn't figure out, but I see now what he was doing. He was, first of all, he was finding himself, he was finding his sound. Hip hop always want to pigeonhole you into this what you are, like, oh, you're a backpack rapper, you're what they call, I think they named that kind of rap, they called it something. It wasn't even backpack anymore. That came off after Kanye came through. There was this new thing that they put him and Asher Roth. Oh, frat rap. They started calling it frat rap. And I was like, okay, maybe I could see how they called it that early, but to me, Mac Miller was the best of that shit. Blue Slide Park, bro, was such a vibe. It was such a vibe, you know, when him and Wiz was coming out of Pittsburgh at the same time. It was just a time, man. That was when I was in college, so I guess it just hits different. It stands out different. But shout out to Mac, man. Yeah, but swimming was.
I've got the vinyl. I've got the vinyl hanging in my bedroom. It's
insane to see his evolution, man. His mature, how his music started to mature, like the way it started to mature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, swimming was the one for me. That was when I really was like, oh, when I heard swimming, I was like, man, I got to go back and listen to everything.
Listen to all this shit.
Listen to all of this and catch up. You know?
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, Stuck on an Island, Mayday. Again, you know, with Mayday, I heard about them because of Tech-9 signing them. And then the first album I heard was Take Me to Your Leader, which was their first album off of Strange Music.
Right.
And it was really, it was as good as Swimming, to where I was like, now I got to go back and listen to everything they've ever put out.
Yep.
And Stuck on an Island, man, it's definitely not all hip hop. Like there's, you know, some of the verses are definitely hip hop, you know, but the music and the way they put it together, it's like a live band. It's a 6-piece. They're down to a 3-piece now, but Stuck on an Island, they were a 6-piece, and it's different, bro. And it's just, you know, my ego really identified with it because I feel like I'm a spiritual mutt in a lot of ways. I'm not gonna go all into that, but it just. Even Stuck on an Island, you know, the concept of that is very similar to my podcast idea of alienation.
Right.
You know, stuck on an island, you know.
Right.
We're all on an island to ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Unless we reach out to make connections and tell stories and share stories and
Yeah.
listen to other people's stories.
Yeah.
And then number 1, Distant Relatives.
You've always said that was your favorite one. I remember the first time I heard that album, I was already deep into Nas, and it stood out to me because I'm almost sure I'm accurate on this. Distant Relatives came out after Steelmatic.
Oh yeah, no, a while after Stillmatic. It was 2011 or 2010 maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. So that was after. My bad. After Godson. That was around the Godson era.
Yeah, 2000
and Streets Disciple era. It was in between those two albums, I think. And I remember, you know, being such a Nas fan, I was like, yo, this is different. And obviously at the age I was at, I didn't appreciate it until a little later. I didn't start appreciating it until I was taking those after I started my awakening phase, and I started taking those long trips on Raffer on 81. It was just different. I started looking at it and hearing it different as I got older, because that's a mature album, obviously. And you got to be in a different space to even have that type of album resonate with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, so.
Just amazing album. Number 1, and I'm a music person, so that says a lot.